Alrighty then, back once again for another reaction. This time is Once Upon a Time, Season 3, Episodes 21 and 22, the Season 3 finale. I'm back off another mental health rest I had to take after recording the previous episode, because on the 2nd of February it was my dad's would have been 62nd birthday. And around this time of year, it's like a real low point, and I just didn't feel up for doing anything in general, let alone reacting. So I did the responsible thing. I was like, Once Upon a Time will always be here. I've got to look after myself, and that's what I always try to do. It results in sporadic uploads, but I'm sure you'd rather it be this way than me put out stuff while I'm like down and not trying, and you know, there's no fire inside and that kind of thing. I like to record when I'm at my best, and I feel pretty great right now. So I'm back a little later than I'd have hoped, but as late as I needed, and that's the important thing, right? Excited to finally, in the second month of 2023, finish the season that I wanted to complete last year. It has been a tough journey, and I am hoping to speed things up very soon. I just need that landing strip of recording time where I can record. Because as it is, I'm only able to do like one or two, like, in one session, and that's like a once per week opportunity and stuff. I need to sort of organize the time better so that I have the ample opportunity to get these done, and that is something I have pledged to work on for this year. So when we look back at last year, I'm sure we'll be able to say that this year there was a lot more uploading going on, so stay tuned. As for this though, Once Upon a Time, super excited for this. It shocked me and slightly offended me, but at the end of the day, it was completely in character, even though that's kind of disappointing. You know, the whole Rumple mess, like, yeah, okay, it's pretty understandable, but at the same time, god damn it, like, you're so hard to love. But I do love him. And yeah, it's just I think he was more feeling the betrayal on the behalf of Belle that did it for me. Yeah, coming off the back of that, he's got a lot of making up to do to both Belle and me, but we'll see where it goes. Zelina was defeated, and God just couldn't let things be, could he? Like, she was powerless, she was imprisoned, and Regina even says, look, you have the chance to turn out like me, but just be warned, if you mess up again, I'll be on your ass. I will personally put you down. Like, she was like, she at least tried, Regina did, and I thought that was brilliant. Like, sisters or not, I really love that as a mark of Regina's growth and development, everything came full circle, and she herself had been dealt a second chance and given a hand to grasp and stuff like that. So she, in her own way, extended her hand to Zelina, saying it's never too late as long as you're genuine about it. Like, I really enjoyed that she at least tried to tell her that, but unfortunately we'll never get to see how that turns out, because Rumple decides, you know, I just can't let it go. My son sacrificed himself to bring me back to stop you, and like, I'm gonna go all the way. I'm gonna kill you. Like, my son won't have died for nothing. And like I say, I do understand that aspect of Rumple. That's been his driving force throughout the entire series, that he loves his son, will do anything for his son. But it's the fact he had to step over Belle to get there that really rubs me the wrong way. But he did it. He went in. Zelina's like, hey, what the fuck, bro? But he wasn't listening. He killed her. And yeah, her magic has now leaked away from the pendant because its user isn't there anymore, and it has reactivated the portal. So that's not good. So I don't know what kind of time magicery is going to be happening, what's going to get messed up, what's going to need fixing. If we're going somewhere, something's coming in. I know that Zelina intended to use it to travel back to the past, so is Storybrooke all going to be taken back to the past? Is only a couple of characters going to discover the whole and get sucked in? What other effect is it going to have? Like, something needs to happen with it. They wouldn't just lead into this two-part with it activating if something big with the past wasn't going to happen. But I'm struggling to find out what, or consider what that might be. And we've also got Emma's loose end to tie up, in that she still wants to go back to New York. She's still thinking very selfish and one-track mind of, I don't like dealing with any of this. Like, we had it good not having to deal with any of this in New York. It was a nice, peaceful life. I don't want to be involved with any of this. Like, even after Henry's remembered, Emma's like, no, as soon as this is done, I'm off. Because Hook was asking her, like, hey, since Delina's defeat, have you got your powers back? She's like, well, I won't be needing them in New York. Like, oh my god, no, Emma, stop. Your home is right here in Storybrooke, and you know it deep in your heart, and you are in hardcore denial. So yeah, tons of stuff to sort out. I can't wait to see how everything's gonna settle, and we're gonna get into it. I got my Hook shirt all primed and ready because, as I said, after he was manipulated by Zelina and then treated coldly by Emma and then almost drowned by Rumpel, and he deserves a W. He deserves a win. And I'm really hoping he gets it in this finale, and I've got the shirt ready in preparation. So let's go. Okay then. Alright, once upon a time, I see you. I see you in your ways, your tricks, your twists, your gripping of the heartstrings, your twisting of the mind, your confusion and awe. It's all on display. It's all there. Oh. This whole two-part thing was a very special encounter for me. Not only, as I say, because of all the very strong, very gripping, very powerful emotional beats. Everything, really. We had all the ends meeting between Hook and Emma. We like had them like all flirty and indulgy, and then it came round at the end where she realised that he sacrificed the Jolly Roger to meet her, and there was like no more reservation. We had our Regina and Robin moment of let's finally get together, so I think that's official now. It was wonderful getting to see some of those old scenes again, but slightly altered due to meddling in the past. So there wasn't too much consequence from some of that. It just changed the storybook a little bit. Like, hey, look, Emma, you're in a red dress in the book. Like, you're in the book now. That sort of stuff was cool, and I really, really loved. A big aspect of this I absolutely adored was the team up with Rumpel. Like, especially in his old self, and how he had to be convinced, but very quickly, of everything that was going on. And it was very interesting dynamic. I really loved a lot of the dynamics going on in this. The two Hooks at the same time, that was fun. But I really, really got enjoyment out of the old Rumpel and his ways. And then even near the end, he couldn't quite like let this situation go without knowing. Even though he was going to forget, he wanted that momentary satisfaction of knowing the fate of his son. And I thought that was a very powerful moment, with Emma tearfully telling everything, like knowing he was going to forget, of course, but that the way that was shot, with the music in the background, and what it meant for Rumpel to hear that, especially in his most bitter state, how cathartic that must have been to hear, and then knowing he should forget so that he doesn't mess that up. That was so strong. I enjoyed that Once Upon a Time paid attention to every little detail that was going on, so including updating the story for Emma in a red dress. They addressed my concern that the trolls who turned into bugs previously and one of them died, surely that was going to cause a knock-on effect, and they solved it by Regina giving them the same fate that they suffered. So that was really cool. Oh my goodness. Who'd have thought that Zelena exiting stage left on this story would have made room for such... As I said, the way this finale peeled everything back and made it all about the emotions, and Emma's big end curve of her season 3 arc, which is wanting to go back to New York. We focused in over the course of this finale over the theme of, once you're away from something and you miss it, you realize how important it is to you. And she came to truly realize Storybrooke was her home as a result of all of that. And I love that we took her on this little bit of a curved journey. And as she said, the big bombshell moment was what she thought she was seeing her mother die. Like, wow, that's some powerful stuff. It really is. And I knew that after the way Hook had been the butt of everything in the last few episodes before this recording, I knew he was due a good turn. I knew he was due a good W. Like a fantastic W. Like, selfless, funny, like determined, keeping Emma grounded. Like, as she said, it was thanks to the fact he kept with her that she was able to pull that off as well as she did. And he was the one always being the voice of reason. Like, we can't be messing with stuff. He was the one that helped get things back on track after Emma got captured. He brought Charming and Stowe back towards where Emma was. He did so much. He got such W's in this. Like, his past self got to kiss Emma some, and of course Emma indulged, and just carried on the path of getting warmer towards him. And then Hook himself, present day, got to make out with her a bit later in the episode. Like, Hook had W's in this episode. I really, really loved how everything, especially, what Once Upon a Time does well? When it does these montage-ish moments, it's not like a full musical montage. It's more a bunch of scenes go by while a character talks over the top in a different scene that they're having. Like obviously the wedding scene was going on, but it was interspliced with all these glowing relationships, like Regina and Robin, and the start of Hook and Emma. Like, I really love when shows, especially Once Upon a Time, does stuff like that, where everything all feels so nice, pleasant, and fitting in. And I thought that the ending sting was going to be that Gold would basically chicken out of his wedding and be like, no, this feels too wrong to do without coming clean. I thought this would be where there'd be a break between him and Belle. I was wrong. He is going to keep it bottled for now, but I'm sure the truth will come to light eventually. There is no other reason we would have flashed to that. Like, it's going to come back that he's been keeping the real dagger from her this whole time. Like, it's going to come back. That's guaranteed. But to think that I did initially panic as much as Hook when it was like, this woman is supposed to be executed. Like, she needs to go. Like as cruel as it sounds, like this is gonna have some negative effects. And I was fooled. I thought, well, yeah, if we bring her to the future, then there's nothing to mess up. How little did I know that it was Maid Marian. Jeez, that is one rotten twist of luck. One rotten twist of fate. And what always hurts about this kind of thing is that Emma truly did try to do the right thing. Like just how Snow tried to do the right thing when when things ended up getting Regina's love killed. So things have kind of come full circle with that. Like, actually, you're just like your mother. Like, you think you're doing the right thing, and then you muck things up for me. like, oh no, there was. It's like you don't want to feel like an asshole of, like, hey, his long dead wife. He gets to see her, the mother of his child. Yeah, like. It's so difficult because it's like in ordinary circumstances, that's something to celebrate. It's like, yeah, she survived. The family stays together. But it's on the back of getting used to how good Robin and Regina are as a couple and how happy she is to be able to love again. They had that whole nice scene in front of the fireplace and Emma is now throwing a wrench into that by bringing Maid Marian back, and it's like, this is such a complicated situation because it's like it's normal to feel good for something like this happening, but you've also got the perspective of the heartbreak for the other side who deserves something after all of the progress she's made. This is a big slap in the face for her, and I wouldn't be surprised if this leads Regina to a Rumpel-like relapse in some capacity. I'm not saying like a full change, because I think she's, after casting light magic, I think her redemption's pretty nailed on, but I'm more talking about like just a little like wibble, like her chances aren't zero, is what I'm saying, of pulling a Rumpel and doing a little bit of a step backward. Not too far, but a step backward. Depending on how this ends up, because I mean, she did seem like she might kind of be letting it go, like, but more being like passively bitter, like, this is like minus 50 relationship points between us, like, Emma, it's like, what else could you have screwed up? Like, it's like, you better hope you didn't bring anything else back. And we've got Elsa. At least that's what I'm assuming, because I'm very sure that was the same strut from the movie. So now, is that going to be our season 4 villain? Because I do know that the original plot of Frozen had Elsa committed to her villain role after being outcast. She was going to be the movie's villain with Anna as the protagonist against her. But then, after test audiences loved Elsa so much, they decided to tone her down and have her be able to come back and actually undo what she'd done and be the good guy. Like, I wonder if we're going with the original interpretation of Elsa, where she will play the icy villain. That could be pretty cool, no pun intended. But peak Once Upon a Time. Oh my goodness. It's very fitting that we had all these revisits to season 1 stuff, because this felt like that classic Once Upon a Time heart and soul that first hooks you in to this series. This felt like it was dripping with everything that makes Once Upon a Time so addictive and great, especially on the first watch. This was such a flagship for everything that makes this series wonderful, in terms of heart, humor, like the way it's shot and the music directing and the pacing, like the acting, everything. I feel like I need 3 more parts. Like, I'm a bit sad that my season 3 run has come to an end. Like, I know that people are a bit mixed on the Pan stuff for the most part, and it's mainly Zelina that people get hyped about. But I'm gotta say, overall, this might be my favorite season. Season 2 kind of suffered from having little bits of dips. Now, I'm not saying that in terms of there were any bad episodes. It's just, you know, you have great and great and great and stuff like that because of the level of the show. It's always a great time, but there are notable low points in season 2, like any scene Tamara's in. Like you get the kind of angle I'm going with that. Or some of Korra's shenanigans. And going back, I think the Frankenstein episode isn't that rewatchable. You know, there's little things, but season 3 to me feels like the season with the most consistent highs I can rewatch over and over again. Like, because this is where a lot of characters reached their peaks and tied off knots, and there was a lot of satisfying payoff for things we spent 2 seasons building up. It was such a fantastic payoff season, and I think that's really resonating with me, especially with how we went back to some of the season 1 stuff in this episode and related it to how the characters feel now, and it's wonderful. It's brilliant. It's genius. Like, I'm just flabbergasted. I've always said that the show finds new ways to keep impressing me all the time, and I'm always left speechless when it does. Like, I somehow didn't expect it. Crazy. Crazy. Wow. So, yeah, I think I've said about all I wanted to say. I thought this was a fantastic idea for a heartfelt, pulled back. Like I say, I can't stress enough, after all of the bombastic stuff happening in Neverland, all the bombastic, mwahaha, here's Zelina, I'm Regina's sister, haha, Wizard of Oz references everywhere. Like, and culminating in her getting killed off by Rumpel. You know, it's all drama. And then we get this nice, subdued, emotional, bows on the top of character arcs finale that's just Emma coming to terms with how she considers Storybrooke a home, but then we introduce consequences of what they went through, and it's going to lead us into the 4th season, and how do they do it? Like, this is so good. They knew exactly what they were doing by pulling everything back and allowing us to just focus on emotion and character rather than drama. Yes, save a drama sting for the end to get you interested in seeing how things resolve next season. But on the whole, this was such a wholesome experience, and it's one I'm going to enjoy rewatching through reactions over and over again because of the satisfaction it invokes. If only Zelina would have been here to see this one. Korra for that matter, but who cares about her, right? Wonderful stuff. I am so glad to be watching this series. Thank you so much, Hardy, for ever recommending this to me. It's been one of the highlights of my life, getting to see this. Like, imagine, without your input, I would have probably never checked this show out in my life, and I would have missed out on so much. You have done me a great service, and I can only hope that I am doing a similar service to you by reacting to it and gaining the same enthusiasm for it that you first shared. Like, because it has been a wonderful journey, and I can't wait to continue it with you all. And I shall see you guys next time.